Unironic tournament Dunsparce. It is right there. There is the Sparse on my team in the tournament. And what this is the BDSP NU kickoff tour. Point being that they've just established a tier of BDSP NU. So they're running a tournament to just kind of see what people bring and what the meta is kind of looking like at this early stage. And obviously, I had to bring my son. This is also the kind of bit where typically, after not uploading for a while, you go, oh, sorry about no uploads, I'll try and do more, but like, realistically, I fucking won't. Uni is kicking my ass. But still felt the need to get this out because Dunsparce. But you're gonna have to wait a little bit for the Sparse because it was in the second game. So hold your horses, anticipate the Sparse, as for now we've got game one against Floats All Night. So my team is a normal spam team, with the point being that Kangaskhan plus Dodrio can just break down and overwhelm the answers that they have by spamming powerful normal type attacks. Got a suicide lead, Hazard's Quillfish. Sheer Force Morale is an offensive rocker, sub Wisp Hex Haunter, and an offensive Sandslash. In that, by putting rocks on the Morale, I kind of free up the Sandslash to be a Swords Dancer. And the Floats All Night is bringing, I'd say, probably a bulky offense type of comp, in that Lantern plus Gligar gives the team a decent defensive backbone, and Glaceon, Kangaskhan, and Electivire, while all offensive mons, are at least decently bulky. And so, matchup-wise, I really do not switch into Glaceon, in that my ice resists are Quillfish and Morale, both of which have dogshit HP and Spadef. So I need to be very careful around that and just try my best not to let it in. And plan-wise, I just want to break through the defensive Gligar so that all of my powerful physical attackers can just smash through everything. So that's my plan. And for them, it's break with Glaceon so that something like Electivire or potentially Aerodactyl can clean up. So, leads, they lead Gligar, as I just lead Quillfish, ready to get my hazards up. I go for a Toxic Spike over a regular Spike, just because there are 4 grounded mons, all of which can get poisoned, which Hex Haunter is gonna love. And then I just immediately explode, which is gonna deny them the defog. And I could have taunted to stop the defog and then got another Spike up, but I just figured that you could just as easily Earthquake again, so I may as well at least get damage on this so that I can start trying to break through. So I go into Dodrio, just thinking really that if a Quillfish, which isn't very powerful, explosion does all of that, then a banded Dodrio is going to have to absolutely blow it up. But it doesn't, it lives on 1, and then is going to roost and get leftovers back. But I can at least just keep Brave Birding as they go Lantern and take a massive hit and take the poison. And this is cool for Haunter because it's hexed. I can hit it that way, and that was the only thing that's really absorbing Haunter attacks on their team. But it also kind of sucks that Dodrio's already at half, and I haven't broken through the Gligar, and that can just come in on something and roost back up and continue to be a nuisance. Because of my team, the only thing that's really immediately breaking through it is Haunter, but I really don't want to switch that into a knockoff. So I'm forced to switch, and I just go Kangaskhan because that'll live any hit. I did consider hard Sandslash on the Volt Switch, but I thought a Scald or an Ice Beam is just as doable. Let's not throw out a Wink On for absolutely no reason, because if I can break down the Gligar, then Sandslash is really, really good. And even the Gligar, I do kind of set up on it, but at this point I'm still just thinking, okay, let's not be too rash and premature and just throw out all my HP on Sandslash to try and break through Gligar and have to land Stone Edges and just be a bit more sensible. So it rests, and I just go straight for the double edge because, again, get HP on this. Haunter is really good, and I figured it's probably Rest Talk, but I also then thought, well, you have to get the right move with your Rest Talk, and I'm in a really nice position if you just get the Sleep Talk. If you Sleep Talk the rest, sorry, then I can just keep double edging everybody and I'll be vibing. Surely enough, there's a Sleep Talk, but they get the Volt Switch, which is unfortunate because now I've taken a fuck ton of damage and Gligar's in and I can't kill it. And it can just roost up and spoil my day. And so at this point, I don't really know who to go into in that there aren't really good switches because, again, I don't want to let Haunter get knocked off and nobody else is really threatening it immediately. So I just double edge into it, do a bit as it roosts. And at this point, the reason for the double edge was that if they try to get a bit cute, if they try and catch the Haunter with a knockoff, if they just get their rocks up or something, then I'm in a really good spot. And if they roost, then I lose a bit of HP, which isn't ideal, but I can live with. But now I'm just in the same position. And so I decide to go hard Sandslash in that just I can start to set up on it. And I was saying a second ago that I didn't want to do that if I could help it, just because they could quite easily knock me off and wear me down. But then also I'm kind of thinking at this point, well, I don't really have a choice other than to do that if I want to force progress against the Gligar without risking my Haunter. And I'm also just thinking that even if it wears me down, if I can at least weaken/break through the Gligar, then I won't need Sandslash to win, because then Dodrio and Kangaskhan can just tear through everybody, in that Aerodactyl doesn't really count as a resist because it's very frail. They go Lantern on my Swords Dance, and at this point, I'm thinking that I would love to Swords Dance again, in that you're presumably Rest Talk, Scald, Volt Switch. You have to proc the Scald, but I'm also thinking, let's not let my Sandslash get scalded, because then I'm not living a hit off Electivire or off Aerodactyl, which just makes me a lot less useful. And I count Rapid Spin. It doesn't quite do it, so I just Earthquake to take it out. And they're going to go into Glaceon, which has quite good physical defense. And also, they're usually modest, but if it's timid, then it's a speed tie. And now you kind of see what I mean of, I do not have switch-ins to this Mon. This is Kyurem, but in NU. And so I'm just going to give them the Kangaskhan, because it's not breaking through Gligar, it's outsped by Aerodactyl, it's just not that helpful. But it is going to let me get into Mawile, who can start hitting something to maybe try and force a bit of progress. And at this point, I know that they're going Gligar, but I also don't really have a useful way of punishing that. And so I just kind of think, okay, well, I'll attack into it, then it'll need to roost, and then I can switch, and that's just a bit safer and more sensible. And so I just Iron Head into it. I could have rocked, but it'd just defog, so whatever. And they then make a nice double into Glaceon, trying to call my Sandslash, which I did nearly go into. And this Haunter, to be honest, I just got lucky. I wasn't going. If they double Glaceon, then I'm vibing. I was just going, okay, well, you have to roost so I can get Haunter in. And then I can burn things, I can sub, I can do what I want. And here, they're usually specs, but I was a little bit scared of Scarf, because just I get one shot because I made a papier-mâché. But mercifully, it isn't. And so I just substitute, because partly I thought, well, Glaceon is so good, they probably don't want to be sacking it. And if I get a sub into something, then I'm in a really nice position. And also because, worst case, you just get more worn down by poison, and I'm still cool with that. I only really need the HP on this to get one substitute because, I die to everything because I have no defenses. And here, I do just Hex as they go Gligar, and that's going to be enough to 2-hit KO. In that they didn't reveal the knockoff, but presumably they had it, so I wouldn't have been able to get funny with wisping and subbing and all that kind of jazz. But they're going to go Kangaskhan, get poisoned, which is nice, but with Scrappy, I'm not about to take anything off them, so I just go Mawile, and at this point, I can either just fire off a big hit into something, or get my Rocks, which is going to annoy Glaceon and Aerodactyl. But equally, Earthquake from the Kangaskhan on a Mawile that isn't very bulky and also doesn't even have the Intimidate to help it out. So I just go Haunter, because you're never going for a normal move there because there's no real point. And so I'm able to just get Haunter in, I'm faster, I can substitute down to get this thing to take more poison until it's in Sludge Bomb range. I'll be vibing. And so I do that, and I am a little bit cautious of you can Sucker Punch at some point, and that won't be very enjoyable for me. But I feel as if I can afford to just substitute down and get all the HP on this. And I keep substituting as they go Aerodactyl. And here it's just nice that there's no dual wing beat, so you can't kill me, you just break my sub. And I get to burn the Aerodactyl, which is really, really nice. Although maybe not that important, in the sense that Haunter is still dying. Sandslash is still not taking anything from it. But, it's just always good to get something crippled, if you can, really. So they're going to go Glaceon, as I go Mawile here. And I think the Glaceon was another, I'd probably go Sandslash on the burnt Aerodactyl, and they're trying to catch that again. But I felt able to go Mawile in that you never Earthquake the Levitate thing in front of you, so I could just get the Mawile in and get Rocks or get some kind of hit without risking the Sandslash, because I could just lose to Electivire if I'm stupid with the Sandslash. So that works out for me quite nicely. And I end up deciding, okay, let's get the Rocks rather than just immediately killing what's in front of me, which is because I'm still just thinking the Electivire is the big threat here. I don't care about this Glaceon as much because other things are outspeeding and revenging it. So I can just get the Rocks, get more damage on Electivire, get damage on the Aerodactyl. Kangaskhan won't have much left after Rocks and Poison and all of that. And then I can just sucker this to finish it off after Poison, which is going to make it a double down and 3-3. And here, it's increasingly getting close to... It's kind of dicey here. It could go either way, pretty much. In that, if they're able to get a hit on Sandslash, then Electivire will be able to outspeed and kill that, and obviously kill everybody else. And I need to Thrash with Dodrio to be able to kill it, which would then let Aerodactyl come in and kill me because I'm locked into Thrash. And I know they're going Kangaskhan because it's the kind of least important remaining member and really weak, so you can just sack it to get the switch initiative rather than risking your more important other mons. And so I just quick attack because I'm thinking I'd rather not get sucker punched, and that way I can at least get a bit of damage on the Aerodactyl before I get revenged. But they go Electivire instead, and I think I want to say the reason for that is probably because you can at least get a big hit on Sandslash, which has revealed itself to be a setup mon, whereas Aerodactyl just can't even slightly touch it. But I think at this point it's pretty much in my hands if I don't pointlessly flow. At least I thought that at the time, but I find something else out in a bit, which I'll explain. But because they go Electivire, I get off a massive quick attack on it, which is pretty cool. And now I go Haunter. So this is a speed tie, but I'm still just thinking, well, I win with Sandslash, right? So I win the speed tie. That's cool. Down goes that. Aerodactyl comes in, and it's going to just kill me with a Stone Edge. And then I bring in the Sandslash, and they miss a Stone Edge. Doesn't matter. I hit my Stone Edge, kill it, and win game 1. Although, turns out, they said that they had the Facade on the Aerodactyl. So, I don't know if they just had given up already on that last turn with the Sandslash not Facading into it. I'm not really sure why that happened, but the point is that if I'd lost the speed tie against the Electivire with the Haunter, then I have to go Sandslash. I take a lot of damage from an Ice Punch because I want to say the Electivire was choice banned and I'm an offensive Sandslash. After a Rapid Spin, I'm still not faster than the Aerodactyl, and I would have died to the Facade because it's burnt, and that would have been the game. So it ended up coming down to a speed tie in the end, but I got it. I take the first game, and we on to the second game, where I have this team that is just built around being able to use Dunsparce. And the point of the team is that because I have rocks on the Dunsparce, the Sandslash is freed up to be an offensive variant. Unfortunately, they have the most Sandslash-proof team in the entire world. There is a defensive Exeggutor that I can't touch. Marowak is living hits because it's bulky. Dusknoir can live hits and annoy me because it's bulky. The Sandslash just isn't overly vibing. And otherwise, I don't have switches to Glaceon because I'm a Fizz-Def Dunsparce. Lantern gets freeze-dried. My own Glaceon gets 2 KO'd. Specs Glaceon is very spook. I also don't really switch into Rampardos in that mon does not have switch-ins. It has the Ice Beam for my Sandslash and Leafeon, and is going to just obliterate everybody else with Rock Slide, Earthquake, etc. The Leafeon is quite defensively nice in that it can come in on the Marowak, which is useful, and I've also got Protect on the Lantern to waste Trick Room turns. And so my plan is pretty much just if I can pivot around and stall out enough Trick Room, then if I get rid of / weaken the Exeggutor, then I can win with the Leafeon, because I'm a Sword Stance Leafeon, I'm faster than everything because it's Trick Room. Leaf Blade hits the entire rest of their team really hard. And I've also got the Glaceon, which, similarly, it doesn't have switch-ins, it's NU Kyurem. That's all just kind of that, really. So, they lead Dusknoir, and I lead Ninjask. And the reason I lead Ninjask is because I was thinking they would probably want to lead Kecleon, because that also Trick Rooms, it can Stealth Rock, and I can just U-turn out on it for a shit ton of damage immediately, and I'd be vibing, but they go Dusknoir instead, so I still just have to U-turn out. We learn it's Spadef from that damage, and so I just go into my son. Well, daughter, because this is a female one, but I go into the Sparse, I set up the rocks, then I get out of there because I'd rather not be cursed. I have no idea why the Destiny bonded, because, like, I'm a Dunsparce, I'm probably not killing you. Like, Bite from a Sparse probably doesn't kill from that range. I can't be asked to calc it, but I'd be surprised. But obviously I can't hit it now because I don't want to get Destiny bonded, so I Protect, I dodge the Memento, and I think the Memento there I don't really agree with, because you've only got a turn or two of Trick Room left to abuse. I think that you need to kind of immediately Memento out after your Trick Room if you're going to Memento to make the most of the Trick Room. But now I just go Glaceon as they Destiny Bond, which is annoying because it means that I can't kill them without losing my Glaceon, which I don't want to do. Letting them get up another Trick Room. I'm also just kind of thinking, okay, sure, have your Trick Room. I will keep switching around and playing around it, and I reckon I'll be fine. So they Trick Room again, and now I just Volt Switch because it won't kill a Spadef Dusknoir, and I can get in Glaceon. And my thought here was that if you're gonna switch something into it, then it's going to be Kecleon, which my Fizz Dunsparce can paralyze and annoy and power flinch. Or possibly your own Glaceon. No, you wouldn't go your own Glaceon because you die to 2 after rocks. So I tried to catch the Kecleon with a Sparse, but it doesn't work out as the Eggy is going to just substitute. I go Lantern on a Giga Drain here, which is a bit silly, but I was thinking it might want to just Leech Seed and I can Volt Switch out or Ice Beam Break it. I just kind of have to be a bit careful and not let the Exeggutor get too happy behind the sub, was my thought. And also just seeing the substitute, I know it's going to be defensive. So I know I'm not taking too much from a Giga Drain. I can protect, I can get back up, I can waste the Trick Room, and that'll all be fine. And saying that it's defensive reminds me, I thought it might be a Specs Exeggutor. And so with that, fuck me, I'm getting confused. It's late. Yeah, so the Exeggutor comes in, I Volt Switch out, and I think here I thought, wait, hang on, it might be Specs. If it's Specs in the Trick Room, it outspeeds and kills my Glaceon, which I need. And so, to be honest, yeah, I was just throwing Sparse into the firing lines as the least valuable mon. But it revealed itself to be not Specs, and then the rest of the stuff I did get right. I knew I wouldn't take too much from a Giga Drain. I can protect, waste the rest of the Trick Room, and be vibing. So, got a little bit confused there. Sorry, but also it's late and my brain is fried. So, I go Ninjask here as they Trick Room again. And the point of Ninjask is just, I can U-turn out, break your sub, get into something, and start forcing progress. And it reveals the Psyshock here, doing a lot as I U-turn out, back into the Glaceon. And what's also cool about Psyshock is that having revealed its moveset, I actually set up on this with Leafeon. Like, it can't do enough damage to me because Leafeon has good defense, and so I can take advantage of that. But for now, I'm just going Glaceon and firing off some very powerful Ice Beams. So they go into their own Glaceon and take a fuck ton. I take even more because I'm not max HP, I'm speed, whereas they can afford to be max HP because it's Trick Room, and I kill their Glaceon, which is really, really nice. So Marowak comes in, goes for a sub, as I just go Leafeon, and I can break it. I'm not that scared of anything it wants to do. Stone Edges, and I believe I just Synthesis up. Yep, I just heal up as they go into the Eggy. And as I've seen its moveset, I decide, okay, well, I don't know what you think you're going to do, but I'm going to just set up. But it can at least be annoying with Substitute, etc. And I just slap it. I think there, I didn't want to get Psyshocked into Double Edge Recoil, bringing me into range of another Psyshock, as the egg continues to be an annoying egg. And I'm just synthesizing up, and now I've got it where I want it, because I can just, I believe, Leaf Blade to break the sub as the Trick Room ends, and now I can Double Edge, which it fucking lives on 1, which is unfortunate, as it Trick Rooms again. But even so, I don't have that many synthesises, but I've got enough, and I eventually just go, you know what, just fucking die, this is annoying. I can afford to be low on this. In comes the Kecleon, as I go sparse, taking a lot because I'm Fizz Death, because just if I get Leafeon in later in not Trick Room, I just get a kill every time, so may as well hang on to it. Reveals the Drain Punch, but big, hard body Sparse is able to take it, live on 2, glare the Kecleon, and now I'm going to just roost up as they Trick Room again. And now I'm just enjoying being a Sparse, doing Sparse things. So they go hard Rampardos, because just with the Kecleon, I just keep roosting, I waste their Trick Room, at some point I start headbutting them. That's not a good time. So they just go into the threat. I'm actually so slow that I'm slower than Trick Room Rampardos. I underspeed it, and I can glare it, which I kind of forgot that glare would make it slower again in Trick Room, but also I didn't expect to be underspeeding it in the first place, so I think it kind of makes sense. Rock Slide does 71, pathetic, fake damage, absolutely bounces off, big tank Sparse, and now I'm thinking, great, let's headbutt it, but try and do some power flinch bullshit, the Sparse we know and love, but yeah, I forgot that glare slows it down. Whoops. So I go Lantern because I can just protect to waste the last Trick Room turn. Gets fully paralyzed anyway, so whatever. And they switch here. I didn't actually kill it with Scald. It does like 76-ish%, so I just Volt Switch out as they stack their Dusknoir. And I can just go back into Glaceon and slap the fuck out of something. And here, I'm just thinking, okay, well, Rampardos dies, Marowak dies, Kecleon will take a fuck ton, and then it'll be in range of Miracle Seed Leafeon, and then I can just Leaf Blade through the whole team. So Ice Beam, bang, shitloads of damage, gets fully paralyzed, which, I mean, it's a little bit rough, but all it really changes is that Glaceon does the cleaning up instead of the Leafeon. And so with that, I take the second game a hell of a lot more comfortably than the first game, all thanks to the big, mighty Sparse, which hopefully the BDSP and new tier leaders look through these replays of the tournament, they see the excellence that is the Sparse, and they understand it for the pillar of the meta that it deserves to be. Why is Dunsparce shit? Even in this tier, it's still fucking terrible. Thanks for watching. Bye.